Hey guys, let's talk about sales. So, in sales, one of the most common things that you're going to do is a cold approach. And with a cold approach, it's just exactly that. You're walking up to someone and you're going to have a conversation with them. And there you go. Hat looks good now. Yeah, the cold approach is just when you're pitching your business and they're cold. They don't know that you're about to do it. It's one of the most common things that you're going to run into with sales is a cold approach, and you need to be good at it. Just because it's called a cold approach doesn't mean that it's cold or a fast pitch or a hard sale. You can be very warm with it and very casual. What I like to do with a cold approach is I like to talk about anything except what I'm selling. So if I'm selling, let's just say I'm selling insurance and I'm just going for a walk around the city, that's a great time to practice cold approach. I walk into places, I browse around, they approach me, I say, yeah, I'm a salesman. I'm just got to do a certain amount of walking around and talking to people in my business. And I go, oh, that's interesting. And then I'll talk to them about their business. And I try to keep it focused on the mark, on the person I'm talking to. Ask them about their business, what kind of donuts do they sell, do they like people, are they having good interactions, what are some of the problems they have. And I'll have a 4 to 6 minute intro just asking them about their business and trying really hard just to get them to talk about their business and their needs. And just have a really fun, frank conversation with them. And that conversation will usually go 10 or 15 minutes if they're not terribly busy. And that cold approach can be very warm. And I won't pitch them on anything. I won't talk about whatever product I'm selling at all. I'll just talk to them about their business and the things that they need. Works out really well that way. Because at the end of the conversation, if they're interested in you and if they're interested in what you got going on, if you've done a good job selling yourself, they will volley that conversation back to you and start asking you, what is it that you do? Oh, I'm a salesman, and what I do is go out and meet people. My whole job is to walk around and talk to people and get to know them. Oh, that's interesting. What things do you sell? And then now I'm not selling them on whatever product I have. I'm just answering their questions and being warm and approachable. So that's the beginning of a cold approach. That's how I do my introduction to a cold approach, is that way. From there, obviously, it goes without saying you need to be knowledgeable of your product, but you want to talk about your product without selling it to them. Like, this is what you need and buy it today. That's more of a hard sell. Maybe that works, in a situation where I'm doing like a show, a home show or a presentation, maybe I'll get into that because I'm only going to have their attention for 30 to 45 seconds. And the whole idea is to turn product. So if I'm selling bracelets, let's just say at a fair or a festival, I will talk to someone about the bracelet for a few minutes. Right now I've got these Italian charm bracelets that I'm selling. And they're pretty clever, you can swap them in and out and things like that. They're $20. They've got a really nice markup on them. So they're nice to sell at fairs and festivals. And if I'm talking to someone like that, I'll explain to them these make great gifts. This is perfect for, any kind of a birthday for someone that you don't know about. You don't know much about them because they can swap out the charms for their own designs and things like that. Makes it. In that situation, I'll pitch really hard and say, no, just buy this. Buy this because you know somebody that's going to be celebrating something and you should buy this and have it in your back pocket because it's good for anybody, male, female, younger people, older people. Everybody likes these charm bracelets and they make for a unique gift that people can customize. That's where I might use more of a high pressure sale type thing just to get those conversions. But for the most part, on any kind of a cold approach, I try to play it slow. The other, level 3 with a cold approach, first you have an introduction, and then you want to be warm and welcoming and talk about your product without selling it. But the third level would be more of the second or third touch. So when you finish that conversation, the last thing you want to say is, this was really great. It's been fantastic meeting you. I really dig what you've got going on here. Thank you for putting this together, for putting your business together and coming in every day. What you want to do is thank them at the end of the conversation. Thank them for their time. Thank them for what they're doing. The product or service that they're pitching, donuts, thank you for being here, opening the store and providing donuts. These are amazing. Thank you so much. And you want to ask them, the last thing is you want to ask them if you can come back by. Can we do this again? Can we have another meeting? Can I swing by next week? Is it okay if we get together and talk a little bit more in depth about what you do and how I can help you? If you can get someone to commit to a second or third date, that is huge. Now you've graduated, you've completed your cold approach to a warm approach. Now you know them and you're scheduling your next meeting. And that's the last thing you want to do in your cold approach, is try to get them to say yes to another meeting. And that's huge. And that's how I finish up those cold approaches. Another thing that I do inside a cold approach, one of the nuanced things that I do is I'll do a bid. So if I'm chatting with them, let's say you get past that 3 or 4 minute mark and you're done with the introduction part of your approach. Another thing you can do is a bid. You can say, do you like it here? Do you like this location? Do you like your store? You could even say, do you like pancakes? It depends on how your conversation's going, but in your conversation, you're going to have a clue as to what you can bid on. And you want to bring up that bid as something to relate to. The idea is you ask them if they like their location, if they like their store, if they like their business even. And you're making a bid. I like your business. Do you like it too? I like pancakes. Do you like it too? Food maybe isn't a good reference here, but let's just say LED light bulbs. Do you like LED light bulbs, the interchangeable ones that are programmable? Yeah, I like those too. And what you're doing is you're creating an opportunity to relate with them by putting a bid out there. You turn and look. Oh, look at that bird across the street. Do you like that bird? What is it about that bird that you like? And it's a blue jay. Fantastic. What is it about blue jays that are, they're just beautiful. And they don't fly south for the winter. Did you know that? So you want to put a bid out there to have something else to talk about and relate to them on. If they don't want to do business with you, if they don't want to talk to you, if they want you to move on, they're not going to say anything about that bid. They're not going to say anything about it. Hey, check out this cabinet that you have in your shop here. That's a cool cabinet. Do you like that cabinet? If they don't respond to that and lead into conversation, you already know you lost them. You lost them and you're just wasting your time. It's time to move on. Wrap up the conversation and get out. So I hope that adds some insight to how you can tweak your cold approach and get more conversions. Maybe not even conversions, but build relationships with customers and clients. Introduction, put out a bid. If the bid goes well, fall into conversation about your product, their product as well. Thank them for everything they're doing. And then at closing, you want to schedule another visit and see how that goes. All right. You guys take care. Have a great week out there, and let's make some sales.